Has Marcus Rashford's career been a failure? Okay, a failure might be a bit over the top, let's say underwhelming. But it is something I often ask myself when talking about the English forward. And of course, if you look at it in the perspective that he's a multi-millionaire, he's played his whole career in the Premier League, of course his career's not a failure. But he joined the club as a boy at the age of just 7. He worked his way up the ranks in the Manchester United Academy, and it looked like all those long hours and hard training sessions, blood, sweat and tears were finally building up to something. And he made his debut for the club at 18, where he scored a brace on his debut in the Europa League, and then he scored another brace on his Premier League debut in 3 minutes. He also assisted in that game to win 3-2. He also scored in his first Manchester derby, and he scored in his debuts of the EFL Cup and the Champions League. And this didn't just look like Man United had a new kid on the block, it looked like England and the club had a new wonder kid on their hands. So, what happened? My honest and genuine belief is that the money has got to him, and as he's grown older, I feel like he's become more arrogant on and off the pitch. Which, off the pitch, I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Don't get me wrong, what he did a few years ago in this country, fighting social issues, fighting for kids to get free school meals, was incredible, and it shows some real character and pure heart. I think the money and the fame and everything that comes with it has got to his head. His attitude on the pitch and off the pitch is just terrible. Okay, so the clip I'm going to show you now is really what got me thinking about Marcus Rashford. I think Man United had just won this game against Leicester. You've got people waiting on you, fans, reporters, and this is how he acts.
Marcus.
And you've got his teammates acting like this.
Tom lads, superb mate. Come on mate.
And of course everyone's different, and I may be wrong on this one, but I just think it's so rude and disrespectful to the people that are waiting on you. You're such a role model. Even if it was just a hello or are you okay, it's worth so much. And I think him acting like that is pretty unprofessional. And when it comes to him on the pitch, I just don't know with him anymore. I genuinely don't think he has any desire or hunger for the club anymore. I think he likes to collect his paycheck and go home. And this really stuck out to me when Barnsley played Man United away in the Carabao Cup. I actually went and I was watching it, and Marcus Rashford started and he scored, to be fair to him, and it was a great goal. But I got the impression that he thought he was too good to be playing against us. I mean, he was just dawdling around, not tracking back, not pressing. And I know people only say it's only Barnsley and we're at home and you're a League One team, but at the end of the day, he's still playing football at a professional level. He just didn't look interested at all. He was walking around, not really running, apart from when the ball was obviously coming to him. And I don't know, maybe he just thought he was too good to play against us. I don't know, that might be stupid and maybe a reach, but you just don't know. But I've noticed it in other games when I've watched Man United play, and it's really sad. He seems to be reluctant to press or track back for his teammates, and it just feels like he doesn't care for his manager, his club, or his teammates. And I hope I'm wrong and he does hold Man United still heavy in his heart, because I don't know what his excuse is or what he has to say for himself when it comes to these lackluster performances and his attitude towards his own team. The thing that really irks me is there's a serious player in there. He was one of the hottest prospects in the world for many years, and we saw the quality he has after the 2022 World Cup. The way he was playing his football was out of this world. At the time, he was one of the best in the league and probably one of the best in the world. It looked like we were really seeing what Marcus Rashford is about, and then nothing. And even as a neutral fan, it's just gutting to see. And it just makes me think back to that thought, does he even care for United anymore? Because we saw how good he is and was after the World Cup, and realistically, it wasn't that long ago. So why can he not maintain even just half a decent form? Maybe it is because he just doesn't care anymore. With the new manager in, do you think this could be a good thing for Rashford? A fresh start? Let me know what you think down in the comments. And while you're down there, make sure you slap that subscribe button. But I feel like that's a comment talking about new managers when it needs refreshing. But let's be real, how many managers has Marcus Rashford played under? And it still feels like we're just wanting that little bit more. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And I always find myself hoping for Rashford to prove the haters wrong whenever the new season starts. And after the massive letdown of not being taken to the Euros, I thought this would give him a massive kick up the backside. But even not being chosen for his country couldn't do that. And I always feel like I'm wanting more from him. A better start to the season. Take on your man. Run more. Just do something. I just feel like he'll look back on this part of his career and wish he'd have tried a little bit harder. And look, if the material things are all he cares for, then good on him. He's done incredibly well. His kids will never have to work. Their kids will never have to work. But I think when it comes down to the football, he may regret what could have been. He was a young man so full of hunger and desire, with the world at his feet, playing for his boyhood club. For millions of children around the world, it's their dream. And fast forward to 2024, and it still feels like we really haven't seen the real Marcus Rashford. And at this point, I don't think we ever will. He seems to just play for his paycheck and that's about it. Which reportedly is on £375,000 a week. How can you be on that much money and score 7 goals in a whole season? It just doesn't make sense to me at all. And like, at this point, surely the Man United board are like, what? I think it was after, I'm not 100% sure, but I do think it was after the World Cup where he had that massive run of form. He scored against Man City at home in that huge derby where they turned the game around, and he was in incredible form. I think he scored 17 goals that season, and majority of them came after the World Cup. He got that bumper pay rise on his contract, and then nothing. I've read a few Man United fans in comments to certain threads on Twitter and stuff that they do think he just plays for his bag and then dips, and it's so sad, especially when you're playing for your boyhood club. At least care a little. But £375,000 a week, surely the Man United board are looking at him and thinking, what are we doing? Like, it's nearly £500,000 a week. Do you know? It's crazy. I think this summer, in the midst of the whole Mbappe to Madrid saga, there were reports that PSG wanted to replace him with Marcus Rashford, and allegedly they were willing to pay him in the region of £75 million for him. And to me, it's looking more and more like Man United should have just cut the losses and let him go. It would have freed up nearly £500,000 in wages a week, and obviously still getting a huge chunk of money for him. And to be fair, I do think it would have been good for him as well. I think a fresh start, a new country, maybe a different, obviously French football is different to English football. I think he performed really well over there. And a new challenge, really, at this point, it doesn't look like he wants a challenge. I think he just likes collecting his money. And let's not be stupid, it'd have been on crazy money at PSG as well, probably maybe even more than he is at Man U. Well, because it's PSG. I think it would have just benefited everybody involved. Man United get a chunk of money, they let go of £500,000 a week. A player really that's not performed for has been, again, pretty underwhelming. And hey, may not even end up in a different country. We all know what Chelsea are like. I know it's only TikTok, but I did see a TikTok before that said Ruben Amorim is very keen of Christopher and Nkunku. Could we see a swap deal going on there? You never know what they're like. You know what Chelsea are like. Maybe a link up with Jadon Sancho. I could see that happening. You never know. But or do you think the manager can get him back in love with football finally? Let me know what you think down below. I know this video may have been a bit harsh. I really have no malicious intentions behind it. I love Marcus Rashford. I think when he made his debut for the club, I think I'd have been about 14, 15, and it was so cool to see such a young English man making such a huge step for himself in the football world. It was really nice to see, and I was just starting to get into football at that time, and it was nice to see. So this video, I hope this video didn't come across as me being ill-minded or malicious. It really isn't. I just really want him to get playing football. I want to see him succeed, and hey, he succeeded. Like I've said, he's got millions in the bank, but I think when it comes down to just watching him play, I want that Marcus Rashford that was after the World Cup. Do you know what I mean? Marcus Rashford that wants to play for Man United, that wants to win games for Man United, and maybe he does. I just don't know. Is it his attitude, or is it a bad patch of form that seems to have gone on for years? But make sure you smash the like button on this one, and please, Man United fans, do not go down and start trying to fight me in the comments. I don't care enough. And if you want to hear why Harry Kane's the most disrespected footballer ever, click here and I'll see you there.